Hello, and welcome to Ranking of Saturn, episode 60.5. This is the last Ranking of Saturn video of the year 2025. Next time you watch one of these videos, it will be in 2026. Hopefully we all make it there in one piece. If I sound a little bit strange, it might be because I've got a cold. I hope it doesn't. Hope it's not affecting the sound of my voice too much, because it is all up in my nose and my throat, and I feel awful. But I am going to persevere, because today is the only opportunity I have to record this video, so I'm going to get it done. This time on Ranking of Saturn, we are playing a very, very important game. It is a survival horror game. Some might call it the survival horror game of the 1990s. Not the best survival horror game of the 1990s, but probably the single most important survival horror game of the 1990s. And I am, of course, talking about the original Resident Evil. This game originally came out on the PlayStation in 1996 under the title Biohazard in Japan, but some of Capcom's Western marketing experts very wisely decided to change the name of this game for its Western release to Resident Evil, which is honestly a really fucking cool sounding title for a horror game. Not saying that Biohazard is a bad name, I'm just saying Biohazard doesn't sound nearly as cool as Resident Evil. That is just a much... It's I don't know, it's got something to it that merely the word Biohazard doesn't have. Anyway, let us get on with it. The game is in the console already. Let me put on my headphones. So this Sega Saturn port came out in all territories in 1997. In Europe, it arrived in September of 1997, so this is getting towards the end of the year. I love that intro. It's so stupid. I think I've already said in the past that I think the original Resident Evil, the original version of Resident Evil 1 is hands down my personal favourite Resident Evil game. Like, to me, Resident Evil 1, OG Resident Evil 1 is like more fun than Resident Evil 2. I like it more than Code Veronica. I even like it more than Resident Evil 4. There's just something... I'm not talking about the gameplay. Obviously the gameplay is like stiff as hell, but there's something about just the general tone and vibe that the original OG Resident Evil has that to me has never been topped. I think it's primarily due to probably the live action. It's the live action cutscenes.
Resident Evil.
Also that's pretty cool. Okay, controls. This game only supports D-pad. There are no analog controls for Resident Evil 1. I think there was a very small run of copies of the director's cut that have DualShock support for the PlayStation, but I think that's the That might be the only version of Resident Evil 1 to have analog stick support. But so there's zero 3D pad support with this game. Okay, right shoulder button to get ready, B button for action, A for dash. That's all I need to know. Look at his face. Spectacular. Chris Redfield never looked so silly.
Resident Evil.
This game is goofy and camp in a way that I find it's simultaneously goofy, camp, and extremely cool. Somehow this game managed to pull off all three at the same time when it was, relevant. Back when it was still considered a contemporary game. So we've got two characters to choose from. We can play as Jill or we can play as Chris. There's a slight difference to the story and the order of exploration, depending on which character you pick. What the game doesn't tell you at this character selection screen is that playing as Chris Redfield is actually hard mode, whereas Jill is the easier of the two campaigns. Jill has more inventory spaces and has a lockpick, whereas Chris has two fewer inventory spaces and has to rely on finding keys that always break when you use them. Very fragile keys. So, which inherently means that Chris will have access to fewer items when you play as him. So you've got to be a lot more picky about where you use your keys. But we're going to play as Jill. I like playing as Jill. Jill is the best character. And her campaign is more interesting anyway. It's one of the best intro FMVs of all time. Come at me.
Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we're searching for the helicopter of our compatriots Bravo Team, who disappeared during the middle of our mission. No, I haven't found it yet. Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. Bravo Team went to the hideout of the group and disappeared.
Look, Chris!
It was Bravo Team's helicopter. Nobody was in it. But strangely, most of the equipment was still there. However, we soon discovered why.
I love Chris's actor. Really going for it there.
Hey! Come here!
Oh no, he's being ripped apart by rubber dogs.
No! Don't go!
Aren't you guys running for your lives? Oh right, yeah, you remembered.
Kill
Awesome. And then you get this. Wait for it. Check this shit out.
Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine. Barry Burton. Rebecca Chambers. Albert Wesker. Resident Evil.
Intensely cool intro. Fuck yeah. Hands down, one of the best intro sequences of all time, ever. Still, to this day.
What is this?
Wow, what a mansion!
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't open that door!
But Chris is...
What is it?
Maybe it's Chris. Now, Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
Okay, let me handle this.
What? Very,
Stay
very,
alert.
very awkward voice acting in this game. Okay.
A dining room.
Wow, Barry, no shit. What makes you think that? Wouldn't be the giant fucking dining table, would it?
What? What is this?
What is it?
Blood. Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Hope this is not Chris's blood.
Awesome. So yeah, the Sega Saturn version of Resident Evil 1 is a it's an interesting port. It's considered not as good as the PlayStation original, but it's also not considered a bad port. It's considered pretty decent. Off the bat, I want to say this version of the game runs at a slightly lower resolution than the PlayStation version. Both versions of the game are low res, run at their respective hardware's low res mode. Only that the Saturn's low res mode is slightly chunkier looking than the PlayStation's low res mode. Also, the character models themselves, since they've been rebuilt from the ground up with quads, they just kind of look a little bit chunkier compared to the PlayStation version of the character models. It's a little weird. It's a little strange. All of the characters in this game look like they are a little bit more heavy set than their PlayStation counterparts. Okay. The load times are worse. You know how in the original game the door opening sequences between rooms is how the game masks load times? Well, the doors take a little bit longer to open in this version than they do in the PlayStation original. So, oh dear. You notice how the movement stutters a little bit. It's not one clean movement. It kind of goes like that. But it's not so much longer that it's, you know, a problem. It's just a little bit annoying. Anyway, we're going to make sure our gun is equipped. Whoops, wrong button. Okay. Okay. I was going to say that the backgrounds in the Saturn version are supposedly meant to be better from like a colour like standpoint. Like supposedly there's meant to be less colour banding, like visible colour banding in the Saturn backgrounds, but I don't know, man. Some of these backgrounds do have extremely visible colour banding. I don't know if these look that different from the PlayStation backgrounds, to be honest. Okay, we've got our first zombie. He's chowing down on one of our friends. Okay, what you can do to save yourself some ammo, when you down a zombie, equip the knife. Give him a stab. Is he dead? He might already be dead. That's good. It's Kenneth from Bravo Team. He's become a mere shadow of his former self. I like that you can clearly see from the model on the ground, Kenneth has lost his head. He's had his head chewed off. So if we examine the body a second time, we get some ammo. Yes. Okay, let's get out of here.
Barry?
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this. What is it?
Kenneth was killed too.
Maybe by this creature.
Anyway, let's report this to Wesker.
I've played this game, or at least played the first few hours of this game, probably close to 50 times. I'm very I like Resident Evil 1 a lot. I've played a lot of Resident Evil 1 over the years. I'm extremely used to how the game looks and controls and sounds.
Wesker! Help me look for him, Jill. And don't leave this hall for the time being.
So we got these typewriters over here. So, but we can't look at it yet because we're too busy looking for Wesker. So what Barry wants us to actually do is to go upstairs and look at every background of the upstairs before coming back downstairs again. So, middle left, Far left. Middle right. Far right. Okay. Now we can go back downstairs.
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Beats me, too.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it can't be helped. Let's search for him separately. I'll check the dining room again.
Okay, I'll try the door on the opposite side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could get into trouble if we get lost. We should start from the first floor, okay? And Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
She certainly is.
Thanks. Maybe I'll need it.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall.
Shrug.
This time I'll be there.
Okay. So Barry's going to walk off and do his own thing for a while. And now we finally have control and free reign to go wherever we want. So if we examine this typewriter again, we get an ink ribbon. So this game uses a limited save system. In order to save the game, you are limited to how many times you can save the game by how many ink ribbons you have on you. So this game really encourages you going for as long as possible between saves. It's an effective way to increase the tension. Just open the doors really slowly. Okay. I'm going to play this game for the purposes of this video in a non-optimal way for the purposes of showing the game off. I'm going to be intentionally taking a route through the mansion that is not the fastest, but is probably the most, like, I don't know, entertaining, you might say. So in this room we've got another zombie just laying on the ground. We can try and finish him off with our gun and preciously low ammo, or we can do this. We can spend a little bit of our life and just kind of walk into him. Let him chew on our ankles and we can kick his head off. Okay, but he didn't take that much health off of us. We're still fine. Oof. So we've got another ink ribbon. So there we go. So now we can potentially save our game a maximum of 4 times. Unfortunately, the character drop shadows don't mesh well with pools of blood on the floor. Transparency clashes with any blood. Okay. Even though I technically don't need it, I'm going to get it for the sake of the video. We're going to get this map. Push this step ladder up to this statue. Okay. And that fills out our map. So we get a rough idea of the layout. Well, not a rough idea, an exact idea of the layout of the mansion. Okay. A picture of a chubby woman. How rude. How rude. Sega Saturn Jill Valentine. You don't get to call anyone chubby. Okay, so you can manually reload in this game, but the only way you can do it is to go into your inventory. Whoops. Accidentally backed out. And then combine the gun with the ammo. That is the only way to manually reload your gun in this version of the game. It's always best to refill your gun after an encounter, because the last thing you want to do during an encounter is run out of bullets and then wait for Jill or Chris to go through the animation of reloading the gun themselves, which takes precious time. You can get a closer look at your weapons and items by checking them. Sometimes you get extra information by doing this, but not always. Okay. Okay. And because we've got the lockpick, Jill can just unlock this door. If we were playing as Chris, we would have to find a key. Okay, so this is a famous area of the game. People who know what to do. You walk backwards. Wait for the dog and shoot it in its damn face. There we go. And there's another dog down here, but this one we don't have to walk backwards. This guy just jumps out directly in front of us. If you're really good, you can shoot this thing once, equip your knife, and then run up on it while it's getting back up, and then basically stun lock it into a continuous loop of recovery animations to save on bullets. But I'm going to play this a little bit safe because I don't want to die while playing it for this video. So, alright, there's some extra ammo hidden underneath this cabinet. Yes. Okay. Resident Evil was not the first survival horror game to use this this style of control and presentation. We've already played one of the Alone in the Dark games on Ranking of Saturn. Alone in the Dark 2, Jack is Back. We've already played that. And while those games did come first in the, the fixed camera tank control horror game genre, those games kind of controlled like shit. I know people like to say that the classic Resident Evil games control badly, but for real context, those people should go back and try playing the classic, any of the first 3 Alone in the Darks, and truly understand just how much better the classic Resident Evil games control over those games. These games genuinely do actually control quite well in the context of comparing them to the first 3 Alone in the Darks. The classic Resident Evils control like a dream compared to the first 3 Alone in the Darks. I would go in this door. This door is a little bathroom off to the side, but there is literally no purpose to ever entering this room. This is a completely pointless room. There's no enemies in here. There's no items. There's nothing. They would add some stuff in this room in the director's cut, but in the OG version of the game, this room is pointless. I forget, did I pick up that? I did, I picked up the herb. Awesome. Hey, let's go in this room here. Okay. Hey, what a weirdly empty square room with are those scratches on the walls? Why are the walls all scratched up? That's weird. Anyway. Okay. The layout of this mansion is very strange. It's like, why would you have this completely separate little, like, room with no obvious purpose, completely cut off with no windows? Like, what was the actual official, like, purpose of this room when this mansion was in, like, day-to-day use? Like, what did people do in here? Was this like a staff room? Was a waiting room? Like, what was this? Anyway, let's take this shotgun. Yes. Well, that was ominous. Hopefully nothing bad happens. Uh-oh. It's a trap. That door's locked. That door's locked. That door's locked. Uh-oh. Well, we appear to be fucked. What if we just kind of hang out here for a while and don't do anything?
Hey, what's going on?
Jill? Is that you, Jill? What happened?
Barry, help me, please. The door won't open. Quick!
Stay away from the door, Jill. I'm gonna kick this door down.
Hurry! This way!
Alright. Barry to the rescue. There are multiple parts of this game where Barry can save you.
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life. But Barry, didn't you say you're going back to the dining room to do some research? Why on earth are you here?
I just had something I wanted to check. Now, let's get back to searching for the lost captain and Chris, shall we?
Not at all suspicious.
Thank you, Barry.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, there are multiple parts of this game where if you don't do something correctly, as Jill, Barry has to save you. And I believe if Barry has to save you more than once during a playthrough of the game, you get a less than perfect ending where Barry dies. The first one's free, and people usually save it for the shotgun. But there are like 2 or 3 other parts of this game where Barry can save you if you don't do something correctly, and that will doom him by the end of the game. But you get one. You get one for free. So let's equip our new toy. Take a closer look at it. We can rotate it with the shoulder buttons. Hell yeah. Can we zoom in? No? Oh well. It's a Remington M870, a pump-action shotgun. Okay. It sure is. This thing is huge. This thing is chunky. This thing is a beast. Look at the size of this shotgun. It's a big, chunky shotgun. So let me show you the benefits of the shotgun. Pretty good. Let a zombie get close, and then you point it up and blow his head off. Saves a lot of time and a lot of ammo. Come on, buddy. There's the other one. Okay. Let's go in this room first. So we're looking for these medallions. We're looking for 4 medallions. A sun medallion, a moon medallion, a star medallion, and a wind medallion. And they are the keys for leaving the first area of the mansion. We'll find one of them in here. Title is Give Me Peaceful Sleep. Picture of a tired middle-aged man. No. So we come into this gallery, this weird U-shaped gallery in the middle of the mansion, filled with crows for some reason. And we got our first puzzle. Give me the peace of death and I'll give you the joy of life. There's a switch below. Will you push it? No. We do not want to push it yet. So we want to hit these switches behind the under these paintings in the right order. So we want to hit them in order of stages of life. So each painting has a description of a different stage of life, and you have to hit them all in the correct order. So a newborn baby, that's the first one. Yes. It's this one? Of an infant. Yes. I think the next one's up here. Lively boy. Yeah, picture of a lively boy. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Yes. Number 4 is here. This one we can't see properly because it's too small and at a weird angle. Picture of a young man. Yes. Number 5 I think is back round here. Jill has quite the turning circle. A tired middle-aged man. Yep. And then the final one is back over here. A picture of a bold-looking old man. There's a switch. Yes. Okay. Now if we come back and hit the picture under here, we'll get the goodies. So what would have happened if we had pushed that button too early, or if we had pushed the switches in the wrong order and then pushed that button, is that would have activated the crows in this room into attacking us for some reason. Because for some reason the crows in this room give a shit about whether or not we solve this puzzle or not. They're extremely well-trained crows. Don't question it. Okay. Tell you what we'll do. Oh, god damn it. Select is the B button for some reason in this game, and I've always said B should never be the confirm or select button in a Sega Saturn game. It should be A or C, never B. A for accept, C for continue, B for back. That's how it's always been in my head. There we go. Equip our pistol. Is that like a pause screen for options? No, not really. Oh, well. The textures on these doors don't look great. They look noticeably worse than the PlayStation version's doors. Come up behind him. Equip the knife. Stab that bitch. Equip the gun. Okay. And that was enough. You can always tell when a zombie is finally dead by the pool of blood that spreads out from underneath him. If a zombie falls down and there's no blood, he ain't dead. That motherfucker ain't dead. I would love to pick up that herb, but I don't have the inventory space for it. Okay, so we've got... I don't think there's an ink ribbon here. I think this is... No, not yet. Okay, so this is a save room, and in most of the save rooms in this game, there's this thing called the storage box. Oops. And the storage box is like a magical box that goes to the quantum realm, where whatever you put in this box will magically appear in every single other storage box in the game. And it is very useful. Very glad it exists. There's some extra ammo in the storage box. Let's put this first aid spray over here. Let's put the knife away for now. We're actually not going to get much use out of the knife. Okay. No, shit. Get out, please. Thank you. I want to pick up this strange bag on the floor. Yes, I'll take the chemical. Okay. Put the chemical back in the box. We will need this. Put it there. Okay, let's bounce. Yeah, that door texture looks really shitty. Like, noticeably so. Like, even worse than, you know, textures typically look in games from this era. I will take the herb. Yes, I will. It's good practice to always keep at least one herb on you at all times, in case you get hurt. A little bit of insurance. Okay. So, a lot of people handle this next part wrong. What you're supposed to do, a lot of people will just walk straight out into the middle of the hallway and aggro both zombies at the same time. What you should do is stay on the top step. Stay on the top step. As long as you don't move off the top step, that zombie in the background will not aggro to you. Then once you've dealt with the first zombie, then you're safe to run out and aggro the second one. There we go. So what happens if you just run out into the middle of the hallway? Both of them will aggro at the same time, and you'll find yourself being a light lunch. Okay. Okay, we can't go in this door yet because it requires a key. Carving of armor. We're going to check out what's in here. I think there's a herb in here, I think, and nothing else right now. Well, there is another map in here, but we can't get the map just yet. Yeah. Yes. You can combine healing herbs together to make them stronger, and also to make them take up less space. There we go. Can't do anything else in here for now. Okay. The best version of original Resident Evil 1 to ever be released, and I'm not talking about the remake, I mean this OG Resident Evil 1, original Resident Evil 1, ever released from a gameplay perspective, is probably the DS version, Resident Evil Deadly Silence. That version of the game, it plays better than any other version of Resident Evil 1. It's just that they intentionally made adjustments to the way the game controls to make it basically an attempt to try and make the combat not frustrating, because a lot of people find the classic Resident Evil combat system a little bit frustrating, which is fair, which is very fair. Okay, get behind him. Okay. 4 was enough to finish him off, that's good. Can't go in this door yet, this requires a key. Carving of armor. don't need to go in this room, but I will just to show you. This is the room where you learn about how to effectively use healing herbs. Always feel like this room should have more stuff to find in it than just the one book. I think it does in the director's cut. So yeah, in the version of this game they put out on the DS, the characters animate faster, they turn around on the spot faster, they you no longer have to actively equip your knife in order to use it. Your knife is always equipped passively in that game, and anytime you want to pull out the knife, you just hold down the left shoulder button and the knife is just in your hands, and that just makes it so much more convenient to use. Like, that alone is a huge improvement. The DS version might actually be the worst looking version of the game, though, official released version of the game, because it has even lower color depth than the Saturn version and runs at an even lower resolution than the Saturn version, but it does run a lot faster. Also, yeah, you can also skip the loading doors on the DS version, because that version of the game is running off of, solid state media, so there's no disc that has to spin to load up the next room, so you can just... The doors are in there if you want them for authenticity, but you can just button straight through them. It's an awesome version of the game.
Barry!
Jill, what's going on? Any clues?
No, but something's wrong with this house.
Whoa, this hall is dangerous. Maybe it's better to secure our escape route first. There must be a back door somewhere. Let's try to find it first, shall we?
Okay, let's separate again.
Just a moment. I found something.
What is it?
It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Better take it with you.
But how about you, Barry?
But how about you?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll take this then.
Fucking stupid. Yes, a weapon that's extremely powerful, especially against living things. Unlike all the other weapons that exist that aren't powerful against living things. It's really dumb. I'm going to talk to you about what this game is trying, the information this game is trying to get across in that dialogue, but does a spectacularly poor job of doing. Okay, so what the game just tried very hard to convey to the player and failed miserably at was communicating that there are two types of enemies in this game. Well, almost all the enemies in this game fall into two categories, rather. There's undead, and then there's living monsters. Okay, so zombies are undead. Dogs are undead. And then there's stuff like hunters, which you encounter later, which are living monsters. Giant spiders, which are living monsters. They're not undead. They're just big, mutated creatures. What the game is trying to communicate to you is that certain types of ammunition are more effective against different enemies depending on which category they fall into. So he gave us acid rounds for a grenade launcher, which is basically this game's main boss gun. You will defeat most of the bosses in this game with the grenade launcher. The acid rounds are very effective against bosses that fall into the living monster category. So you shouldn't really waste them on undead enemies if you can help it, because they won't do as much damage. There is a third category, which is plant, but there's only one enemy in the entire game that falls into that category, so it's not a real third category. I love how tense the music gets. This game has a very minimalist but very effective soundtrack. Okay. So here's the thing. That dead body down there is holding the grenade launcher we want, but examining that dead body is going to activate a bunch of crows, which will chase us and potentially hurt us. There is a technique to getting the grenade launcher without setting off the crows, and that's by walking backwards, keeping your back to the body, and then hitting the B button to pick up the grenade launcher without having to examine the body first, and then you can just leave without activating the enemies. That is an exploit. That is not the intended experience. And they basically fixed that in the director's cut. In the director's cut, instead of the game doing the check when you examine the body, the game does the check when you pick up the gun. So even if you did this in the director's cut, you still get you still get an encounter. I'm just gonna pick this up anyway. So, funny thing, this is very obviously a grenade launcher, but the game calls it a bazooka. It's not a bazooka, it's a grenade launcher. And so if we wanted to, we could just leave and not worry about the encounter, because we haven't actually activated, we haven't done the thing that caused, that the game is checking for in order to spawn the enemies. But for the sake of showing the game off, I'm gonna do it. It's Forrest. He's been pecked to death by crows. How do you know it's crows? It could have been ducks. You don't. There are no crows around. How do you know it's crows? How do you know it was crows? It could have been any bird. I mean, yes, the crows do show up immediately after you look at the body, but you didn't. The crows weren't there before you looked at the body, so how did you know it was crows, Jill? How? Are you an expert in ornithology now? Ornithology, that is the study of birds, isn't it? Did I get my ologies correct? Ornithology. Ornithology is the scientific study of birds. Yes! Got it right. Oh, I fucked up. I pressed the B button again. God damn it. I really, really should have swapped those buttons. Really should have swapped the buttons. God damn it. Okay. Completely unnecessary load time there. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's check out the other side of the building now. cool. Hey, you know what? Let's check out our new weapon. It's currently equipped with standard explosive rounds, which are equally effective against undead and living monsters. So it doesn't really matter what you use them on. What did we just show it? So yeah, these things are basically one-hit kills on zombies. This is overkill. Just explodes them. But you know, it's entertaining. So let's push this statue off of this ledge. What's the ammo situation? 4 of these. 5 of these. Let's use some. Let's use the pistol for a while. Let's not waste all of our good weapon ammo this early. Weighing up what's ahead, what's worth using it on, what's not worth using it on. Then we get this really weirdly shaped hallway. Oh shit. Fuck. Wasted 2 shots there. You down? I can't tell. Okay. Unfortunately, it's hard to see where the actual the hit boundaries of the walls are sometimes. I think I just, even though technically from what we saw we were not behind that wall, I think we were technically behind the hitbox of the wall. It's weird. There's some weird environmental stuff with where the game maps the three-dimensional boundaries compared to what they look like, you know, they should be. Can't really get a good look at this guy's blood puddle, so I can't really tell if he's dead? No, he's not. There we go. Now he's got a proper blood puddle. Okay. So there's some stuff up here, but we can't get into any of these areas yet because we haven't got the appropriate keys. And you don't get those till much later in the game. Okay, go down, buddy. That should be enough. Okay. Again, combine. Using a lot of ammo. It's alright, we're about to get more pistol ammo, so... Zombies can take anywhere between 4 to 8 shots to kill. It's randomized. You do not know how many bullets a zombie is going to take before he goes down, and until you use them. It's different every time you play the game. Every zombie has a different health bar and amount of health points that changes every time you play the game. So you just don't know. Is this guy going to be a 4-bullet zombie, or is he going to be an 8-bullet zombie? So we've got another save room here with another typewriter, some more ink ribbon, another one of these magic boxes. Okay, it's got miraculously has all of our stuff in it. So let's take this, put this here. Let's actually, before we do anything, let's take the existing ink ribbons. Get out of here. Combine. And then put them back in the box. In later Resident Evils, they will the games will auto-combine items of the same type when moving them in and out of boxes. Unfortunately, in the original Resident Evil, it doesn't do that yet, so there's a couple of extra steps to getting shit done. Let's put the grenade launcher away for now. Let's get out the chemical. And also this. We don't need this for now. I am confident enough that I will not need that. And just use up the last remaining bullet from our pistol ammo. Getting a little low on ammo, but that's fine. Don't worry, we're about to get more. Okay. Oh, that was a 4-bullet zombie. That was awesome. That was a great value. Great value for ammo, that guy. Okay, I'm going to equip the shotgun. Because I can't guarantee I can put the next guy down with just 6 bullets, so I don't want to have to, I don't want to potentially put 6 bullets into a zombie and then have to finish him off with the shotgun anyway, so might as well do it safely. Go on, buddy. Come to me. There we go. Bit closer. There we go. Awesome. Run around here, go in this little back door over here, and we find the greenhouse. And this is where we find the use for this big bag of chemical. Actually, if we examine the bag, we might actually find out what this is. A chemical to kill the weeds. Herbicide. There we go. Now, because we examined it, we actually changed what the item is called. Now it's called herbicide instead of chemical. So we're not going to walk any closer, but you can see coming out of that fountain are a bunch of tentacles, plant tentacles. And so we're going to instead walk over here to this water pump that seems to be feeding the plant monster water. And we're just going to straight up dump this herbicide in here. Unfortunately, this game does not manage to replicate all of the transparency effects from the PlayStation version. It does like a decent enough job with the drop shadows. Like the drop shadows are properly transparent, but like stuff like smoke or fire or in this case water, it's all dithered transparency in this version of the game. Okay, and before we pick up that, I want to pick up these herbs. I'm going to fill our pockets with herbs. Yes. So green herbs are just like flat damage reduction. Red herbs are amplifiers. Red herbs do nothing by themselves. Instead, they greatly enhance the effects of other herbs that they are combined with, which makes them quite valuable because it really allows you to spread out your herbs quite a lot. Because then suddenly I think it triples the effectiveness of a green herb. So a red herb and a green herb has the same effectiveness as 3 green herbs mixed together. Yes. Okay. I'm going to combine. Yep. And I combine these two together. Let's grab this key. Yep. So we finally found one of the mansion's keys. That'll help us get into some more doors. What's the current situation on inventory space? Trying to figure out what order I should do things in. So if we look at this key that we picked up and we examine a certain side of it, we can find out it's actually the armor key. So any door that we've walked past that had an engraving of armor, we can now open with this key. So let's actually unlock this first. And we go in this room. This is a cool room. This is a fan favorite room. This is an iconic room. Not because the room itself is particularly interesting, but because of what you find in the room. Oh hey, some pistol ammo. Yep. Oh hey, a book and a weirdly suspicious cupboard door that's very obviously polygonal and not part of the background. Oh no, there's a zombie in the cupboard. Not anymore. Anyway. Keeper's Diary. May 9th, 1998. At night we played poker with Scott the guard, Elias and Steve the researcher. Steve was really lucky, but I think he was cheating. What a scumbag. Today, a high-ranking researcher asked me to take care of a new monster. It looks like a gorilla without any skin. They told me to feed them live food. When I threw in a pig, they were playing with it, tearing off the pig's legs and pulling out the guts before they actually ate it. Around 5 o'clock this morning, Scott came in and woke me up, suddenly. He was wearing a protection suit that looked like a spacesuit. He told me to put one on as well. I heard there was an accident in the basement lab. It's no wonder those researchers... Hang on. It's no wonder those researchers never rest, even at night. I've been wearing this annoying spacesuit since yesterday. My skin grows musty and feels very itchy. By way of revenge, I didn't feed those dogs today. Now I feel better. Wow, you're kind of an asshole. I'm going to take it out on these dogs. I went to the medical room because my back is all swollen and feels itchy. They put a big bandage on my back. And the doctor told me I did not need to wear the spacesuit anymore. I guess I can sleep well tonight. When I woke up this morning, I found another blister on my foot. It was annoying, and I ended up dragging my foot as I went to the dog's pen. They have been quiet since morning, which is very unusual. I found that some of them had escaped. I'll be in real trouble if the higher-ups find out. Even though I didn't feel well, I decided to go to see Nancy. It's my first day off in a long time. But I was stopped by the guard on the way out. They say that the company has ordered that no one leave the grounds. I can't even make a phone call. What kind of joke is this? I heard a researcher who tried to escape from this mansion was shot last night. My entire body feels burning and itchy at night. When I was scratching the swelling on my arm, a lump of rotten flesh dropped off. What the hell is happening to me? Fever gone, but itchy, hungry, and eat doggy food. Itchy, itchy. Scott came. Ugly face, so killed him. Tasty. Itchy, tasty. Oh, I love it's incredible. The idea that a guy who is keeping a detailed diary as he slowly turns into a zombie. It's a franchise iconic moment. Will you take the shotgun shells? Yes, I will. I will take the shotgun shells. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to combine. Okay. And we're going to go back to the storage room to drop some stuff off because we do not have any room left in our inventory to go and get what I want to get, so... Let's go do that. But before we go, let's unlock this door with our new key. And come in this room. So in this room we find some pistol ammo and a fake shotgun. Or a broken shotgun. So, if we were playing as Chris, and we wanted the real shotgun, we don't have Barry to save us. So if we take the real shotgun and activate that trap room, we are just dead. So if we want the shotgun playing as Chris, we have to come here first, grab this broken shotgun, and then take it back to the room to disarm the trap. So that's why this is here. You can do that as Jill, but you don't need to, because we have Barry. Also, we have this desk drawer that we can unlock with the lockpick. And in here is some shotgun shells. Yes. What What are we at? Hour and 20 minutes. We got time. I'll go the full 3 hours today, so I'm hoping to get to the end of the guardhouse section of the game. So we do mansion part 1, and then the courtyard and the guardhouse, and then maybe we end the video with an encounter with a hunter. Maybe if we get there. Okay, so let's put this shotgun ammo in the box. We don't need that much shotgun ammunition to do what we want to do. Three spaces should be enough to do what we want to do. So now if we run down to this door that we unlocked earlier, that will take us back to the hallway where we encountered the first zombie. Because we had to unlock the door from this side. Let's run up here. Go through this burgundy door. It's a very fancy looking door. And we find ourselves in the bar. Real fancy place. Got a grand piano, got a bar. Real nice. What if we shove this out of the way? On this shelf we find some sheet music. Yeah. Out of curiosity, what kind of music is this? Are these music notes? Check. Moonlight Sonata. Huh. Alright. So what if we use the music notes on the piano? Luckily, Jill is trained to use the piano. If we were playing as Chris, we would have to find someone to play the piano for us, because Chris can't play the piano. And that opens a secret passage for us. I just realised I've done it out of order. I should have gone somewhere else first. So we're going to come back here because I do not have a thing that I need in order to complete this puzzle. So we're going to quickly go grab that thing. Whoops, sorry about that. Just added an extra like 2 minutes onto this objective. So we're back in the dining room. Hey, it's this statue we smashed. And the statue was holding a blue gem, or a jewel. Very fancy. Also, what if we grabbed this? This emblem from above this fireplace. And then we head back to the room with the piano. Here we go. I have everything I want now. Okay. So let's go into the secret passage we opened up. And it might not be obvious, but this room is behind the greenhouse. So behind this glass is where the fountain and that plant monster was. Also where we found the armor key. It's a gold emblem. Let's take the gold emblem. But oh no! Taking the emblem causes the passage to shut. But it's okay, we have this one. This less fancy one. Okay. Little Indiana Jones logic there. Just replace the golden treasure with a less fancy replica with the exact same size and shape to disarm the trap. Okay, go back to the dining room now with our big fancy gold emblem. Oops, get around there, please. Okay, now let's insert this guy. Nice, and that moved that grandfather clock against the wall. And we've got ourselves another key. And it's a shield. It's a shield key. There we go. Alright. This whole section of the game is just a lot of running backwards and forwards, the same two hallways over and over again for like 20 minutes. Okay, go back to the weird hallway that leads to the greenhouse. Okay, now let's go in this weird little nook down here, into this little room here that we haven't been in yet. This is a tiny, tiny little room. I do not know what the purpose of this room is, other than as like a tiny, personal, like art gallery to this stone tiger. This stone tiger statue. Like it's a dedicated room for this tiger statue. Like I personally might have turned this little room into like a downstairs toilet or something. Like, hey, I need a piss and I don't want to go upstairs to the real bathroom. I'll just use the little downstairs one. This would have been perfect for it, but no, they made it a dedicated tiger statue room. Okay. So, if we give the blue jewel to the tiger statue, we get another one of those little gold discs that we need to eventually leave this area. The wind crest. We now have 2 of 4. We just need the sun and moon? Yeah, sun and moon. Okay. Alright, almost done with this area of the mansion. We just now need to go back to the storage room, drop off some shit, then come back, and then go back to the main hall. Okay. Easy. Go on, get in there. So we don't need the shield key yet. There's only one door in the entire mansion that uses the shield key. So let's dump that in here for now until we need it. We can stick the crest next to the other one. Don't need that. We'll put the shotgun and the shotgun shells away. So now we've got 4 empty spots. You know what? I'm feeling lucky. Let's put away the herbs as well. Get that 5th empty slot. Get in. Go on. There we go. Okay. A whole lot of back and forth in this game. Okay, now we're going to go back to the main hall this way, via the dining room. Then we'll take a detour to grab ourselves some more ammo. Back to the main hall again. Go this little door up here. Oh God, don't get stuck on the pillars. This is an optional area. You don't actually have to go this way, but we're going to because I want to try and grab as much ammo as possible. Grab that pistol ammo. Oh. Kill this guy. Oh. Is he dead? No, he's not dead. Oh. Okay. Oh. There we go. Hopefully, yes. Okay. Another little desk for us to unlock. More shotgun rounds. Okay. So there's an enemy in the next room, but if we're quick, we can just go around him. We can just grab the shit and get out. Ink ribbon. green herb. Another green herb. And we fucking bounce. Let's get out of here. That's it. That's everything. No reason to waste ammo on that guy. Okay. Let's go back to the L-shaped corridor again, where we first encountered some dogs, and make our way back around to the stairs. Do you like this camera angle? It's really the only close-up shot you get of the character models in the game. This little door, armor key again. Let's just step out here. There's nothing really out here except some dogs and some more healing herbs. But I'll grab what I can. So you can see them, they're patrolling on the other side of the fence. Quickly turn and shoot him before he can get you. Come on. Okay. Yep. Okay, that's as many as we can hold right now. Now, can we get out of here without taking one from the other dog? Because when we try to leave, the other dog will attack us. What's this barrel? Nothing. Okay. Yep. We got out. Okay. Okay. Almost there. Let's drop off some of our shit. Because we're going to need the empty space. So the first time I encountered Resident Evil, oh fuck, did it again. The first time I encountered the game Resident Evil, I was 10, and I was round not a friend's house. I was around the house of my mother's friend. I think I've mentioned this before. I think in the video when I played the original Wipeout, I talked a little bit about this. My mother had a friend that she would spend, time with, talking to, and she had two boys who were slightly older than me. I think one of them was 12 and the other one was like 14, I think. And I was 10 at the time, so they were both older than me. And because my mother and their mother were friends, we were kind of forced to hang out, even though we didn't really have all that much in common. And so it became very common for them to, like, not, how do I put this, not mistreat me. They weren't bullies, they didn't bully me, but they were definitely, like, there was definitely a power dynamic there where I was very much not in control, shall we say. And there was one time I went round there, they had a PlayStation. I think they got a PlayStation like 6 months before I got my PlayStation. And I think this is the reason why I wanted a PlayStation. I went round that house and I watched them play 2 games on their brand new PlayStation. I watched them play Wipeout and I watched them play Resident Evil. And I was too young to be watching somebody play Resident Evil. This game was terrifying for a 10-year-old boy to watch. And they were not very good at Resident Evil. In fact, I very distinctly remember them both dying to the first zombie. They didn't quite understand how to engage with the game's combat and controls, and as a result, I watched them both die to the first zombie that you encounter. And but I didn't know that at the time. I just thought, wow, this game must be really hard. So this game is scary and difficult. Oh no, I don't like this at all. And as a result, I kind of... And also I should mention, there was a thunderstorm happening at the time that I was watching them play this game. With lightning. So there's thunder and lightning going on outside, and I'm watching them play this scary game where they're getting killed constantly. And all of a sudden, the power goes out. There's a power outage, obviously caused by the storm. And as a 10-year-old who was already slightly on edge watching, this scary game be played during a thunderstorm, the power outage was distressing. Not happy about that at all. And as a result, that kind of it kind of traumatized me a little bit. I was a little bit traumatized by those events, and as a result, I refused to play any Resident Evil game for like a long time. Like, it wouldn't be until, I'm gonna say, until like the mid-2000s, until I would finally like overcome my fear of these games and start playing them and realize, actually, these games aren't that scary. In fact, they're more goofy than scary. But because of this trauma that I received when I was 10, I had a real severe block in my brain when it came to anyone, wanting to show these games to me, or or when they asked me to play these games. I was like, no, that's Resident Evil. I don't want to play those games. They freak me out. Until eventually, when I was about probably 17, 18, finally getting the courage to play through them and being like, oh, these games ain't shit. What was I scared of? Oh my god. It's another letter from one of the researchers. The guy penning a final letter to his girlfriend or his wife. It's not sure. It's kind of undermined a little bit by his name, Martin Crackhorn. Oh, did you have to call him Crackhorn? Really? Did you have to give him the name Crackhorn? It kind of undermines the sadness of the letter by giving him such a goofy name. Okay. One of these bugs in this display case is a secret switch. Drains the fish tank of its dithered water, which makes it a lot easier to push. So now we can get behind the fish tank, push it out the way, which means we can now get onto the other side of this bookcase and push it into the corner where the fish tank was, exposing this little wall safe. Well, cupboard, not really a safe. We have some more explosive rounds for the grenade launcher, which is handy, very handy. If we search this this lab coat over here, we will also find some extra ink ribbons. Okay, that's everything in this room. So let's go to this other room where we can find another important item. Over here on this this cupboard, we find the lighter. Okay. And then hidden behind this bed, out of view, is some pistol ammo. We now have 55 bullets for our pistol. Hell yeah. Also, there's a... come on. A red herb. We'll grab that as well. Okay, and that's everything in this area. Right around here. Back to the upstairs hallway. And then we should be able to get rid of one of our keys, because once you've unlocked every single key that a key can unlock, the game will tell you, hey, this key is not useful now, you should get rid of it. So we do that first. Okay, I think there's one left. It's around here, I think. Yep. And the game's like, hey, this key's useless now, throw it away. But you don't have to if you don't want to, but you should. We're going to poke our nose in here. We're not going to go all the way around the corner, but we're just going to quickly grab some stuff and then leave again. I'm going to get the fuck out of here because we don't want to deal with what's around that corner just yet, but we will very soon. Okay. And in here is another medallion. That will be the third of 4 medallions that we need to finish this area of the game. So, you'll notice in this room with all the suits of armour, there are 2 little vents on the floor and 2 statues and a button in the middle. What if we push the statues to cover up the vents? That. And then we walk over and we push the button. There we go. That opens that cabinet over there. Then we can grab our 3rd medallion. So there's a funny thing that can happen in this room in other versions of the game. So you notice how the button is on the floor? If you run over the button in the original version of Resident Evil, nothing happens. But I want to say either the director's cut or the DS version, if you accidentally step on the button while you're running around the room, it activates the trap, whether you're ready or not. And if you haven't covered up the vents in the floor, the room gets flooded with poison gas. And so you really need to be careful of where you're standing in that version of the game. I'm pretty sure it's either the director's cut or the DS version. I'm not 100% sure which one. Got ourselves the Suncrest. Awesome. We can move these statues now if we want. We can shove the statues and stop them blocking the vents, and that will... the room will still fill with poison gas, but we don't want that, obviously. But you can do it if you want. Don't recommend it, but you can. Okay. So now we've filled our pockets with treasures. Let's head back down to the save room and drop off a bunch of stuff. And then... before we go down, let's head over to this room over here so I can show you how to get the upstairs map if you want it. Even though at this point in the game we've kind of been almost everywhere upstairs, so we've kind of drawn our own map, but fuck it, for completion purposes and for showing off the game purposes, let me show you how to get the upstairs map. So see this big white piece of paper hanging above this fireplace? We use the lighter, light the fire in all its dithered glory. That will somehow reveal the map. Yes. Cool. Didn't need it, but worth showing off anyway. Just thinking about something. Thinking. No, let's not go down there. We don't need to go down there. Instead, let's go back to that corner that we didn't want to go round earlier and go round it. And experience one of the best cutscenes in the game. Or at least some of the best voice acting in the game, rather.
Richard,
What happened?
Oh, Jill, this house is dangerous. There are terrible demons. Ouch!
You're wounded. What kind of demon attacked you?
It was a huge snake, and also poisonous. Ugh.
Poisonous? Oh, no. Richard, hold on.
There is serum. Oh no, I should have brought some with me.
No problem. I'll go and get it.
Thanks.
Oh, God. This house has terrible demons. Ouch! It's the ouch that gets me. Ouch! The man has giant puncture wounds across his torso, and the best thing he can say is, ouch! Like, okay. Okay, so we actually need to go back down to the other save room on the other side of the mansion to get the serum to treat Richard. It is impossible to save Richard. No matter how quickly you do this, you will never get back in time to save him. There was a very popular myth at the time this game was relevant that people would swear. They say, "Yo, no, you can save Richard. You just need to do it in less than 30 seconds, including the door sequences," which is impossible. But there was this pervasive myth by liars that swore you could save Richard. Yeah, you can save Richard. I saved Richard. Clearly you're not good at the game because, you're not fast enough to save Richard. And that myth would become pervasive enough that Capcom would actually add the ability to save Richard in the GameCube remake. So you can in fact save Richard in the remake of Resident Evil 1 if you are fast enough. Which actually has pretty good benefits in that version of the game, because if you save him, if you're fast enough to save him, he will actually help you with the boss fight. In that version of the game. Okay. So let's drop off some shit. No, let's... okay. Yes, that's enough. Mind these. Put the ink ribbons back. Keep the lighter. Come over here to this shelf. Examine this shelf to find some serum that you couldn't find or pick up earlier if you checked this shelf, but now you magically can. Now we make our way back to the doomed Richard. Running back to save our friend, but we're going to walk up these stairs as gently and delicately as possible. I like to think that in this version of the game, the reason Richard dies is because Jill insists on opening doors and going up and down stairs extremely slowly. Had she just, you know, just thrown those doors open as hard and as fast as possible and just jumped up those stairs as fast as she could, maybe she could have made it in time, but no. Okay. This version of the game has some exclusive features that aren't in the PlayStation version, or at least the original PlayStation release. This game has an exclusive enemy that is only in this version of the game. That is honestly not that special. It's just a reskinned hunter. Like, it's literally the same stats, same attack animations, same everything, except the textures are different.
Here's the serum. Richard, hold on. I'll give you a shot now.
Jill, here's my radio. You should keep it.
No! Richard!
Jill, be careful.
Alright. Thanks, bye. Haven't got any ammo on you by any chance, do you? Can I pat your pockets? Can I? Okay. So there's a guy hiding behind this corner. It's a vomiting zombie. It's one of the only zombies in the game that vomits. Okay. It took a little bit of damage, a tiny bit of damage there, but we're still fine. We're still okay. We're still technically fine. Yeah, just a very small, select few number of zombies in this game will actually vomit on you before they try and grab you. And that's one of them. Okay. Take the int ribbon. Use the lighter on the candle. You need to light up the room, you see. Because if the room's not lit up, we can't search things because it's too dark. So we wouldn't be able to search this cabinet for ammo if we didn't light the candle. And we wouldn't be able to search the cabinet in here if we didn't light the candle. We get some extra acid rounds, which will be very useful. Okay. Okay, up those steps behind us is the first boss of the game, but we're not going to go up there yet. I want to go back to the save room and grab the stuff that we need. We need the grenade launcher, we need some acid rounds. I want to have at least 2 herbs on me, just in case. Just in case. Don't want to die. Really don't want to die. If I can help it. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's grab our shit and let's kill this thing. So, oh shit, I pressed the wrong button. God damn it. I pressed the wrong button. That's fucking stupid. Anyway, let's just combine that. Again, A for accept, B for back, not the other way around. Jesus Christ. Let's put the pistol away. The pistol is basically worthless in this fight. You want the shield key. Shotgun is not worth having in this fight. Might as well combine some items while we're here as well. Okay. That should be everything we need. Bazooka, acid rounds, 2 heals, a shield key, and an ink ribbon. In fact, let's do something we haven't done yet and save our game. Yes. Yes, I will. Let's save to the cartridge. Awesome. Okay. Cool, we're good to go. Let's go kill ourselves a snake. So the snake in this game is called Yawn. He's probably one of the more iconic bosses in this game. And you fight him twice. So you fight Yawn twice. So Yawn, the first time you fight Yawn, he's a living monster. The second time you fight Yawn, he's undead. So the second time you fight him, the acid rounds are not as effective. You have to use other means to take him out quickly than the second time you fight him. Come on, open the door. Okay. Door interaction boxes, not always where you expect them to be. Okay. Can we examine Richard? Yeah, we can. So how many Bravo team members have we encountered? We've found Richard, we found Forrest, we found the guy with no head. And because this is the only key in the mansion that the shield key is used for, we can now throw the key away. And we head into the attic. Here it is. Uh-oh. Okay, so... Okay, well, health is really bad. We need to use one. That'll bring us up to full health, but as you can see, we're poisoned, which means we will very slowly lose health over time. So... Okay. So we need to finish the fight quickly before we just run out of resources. Combine acid rounds with the grenade launcher. We've already done some damage with the explosive rounds, but we should be able to finish them off with the next few acid rounds. Okay, he's dead. There he goes. Retreated back into that hole. Let's grab these shotgun rounds that are just sitting there out in the open. Let's go examine the hole that the snake ran away into. That's the moon crest, the fourth and final crest we need to move on to the next area of the game. I'm not going to bother using the other healing item because we're going to be also healed by a cutscene.
Am I poisoned? Give me the serum.
Then, haha, mysterious figure.
Barry?
Okay. So we assumed we were saved by Barry, even though we didn't actually see who it was in that cutscene. Okay, so let's put the grenade launcher away. Let's do some cleanup. We're not going to need the shotgun for the time being. We can safely store that away to give ourselves some more inventory space. Do some cleanup here. So we've got acid rounds, shells. So we've got our pistol, plenty of ammo, a little bit of healing, and all 4 crests. That's all we need. Unfortunately, they dumped us a long way away from where we actually want to be. Whoever saved us dragged us all the way to the other side of the mansion. So we actually need to spend some time getting back to where we want to be. Just to, you know, waste some time. What are we, 2 hours 15? Don't know if we'll be able to get to the second boss in under 45 minutes. That might be a little bit too... It might not quite be enough time. We can definitely get to the guardhouse and do some of the guardhouse before the end of the video. God, the layout of this mansion is so inefficient. So inefficient. It takes forever to go anywhere. Around that corner, please. Thank you. Very flattering close-up. Around the collision box. That doesn't quite line up with the wall. Okay. Now we want to go up here, up this little corridor up here. This will take us outside towards the courtyard. Dog here. Okay. Dealt with. Okay. So this thing in here, we want to use these medallions on this wall feature here. Okay. The door to the courtyard is now unlocked. This a little bit. Oh, can't quite get round there. Come round here. Push this step ladder up to the shelf so we can reach what's on the shelf. Which is this crank. So what I'm going to do is check the crank. Because if we check the crank, we can find out it's a square-shaped crank. So now it's labelled as a square crank. This is useful because later in the game you get a second crank that has a different shaped head, but the inventory sprite looks identical. And they're both other, and if you don't check them, they will just both be labelled as crank. So So there's some dogs out here. There's 2 dogs here. And there's 2 dogs. There's 2 dogs in this area, 2 dogs a little further down, and 2 dogs just outside the guardhouse. Oh shit. Oh shit. Uh-oh. I'm fucked. I'm fucking stun locked. Oh no, I'm fucking stun locked. I'm stun locked. Oh, those fucking dogs stun locked me. That's bullshit. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. I got fucking stun locked. That's fucking bullshit. Oh my god, that's bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. Wow. Oh my god, and I haven't saved since before the fight with Yawn. And of course, dying in Resident Evil dumps you back at the title screen. That's fucked. Yeah. That's some fucking bullshit, man. Like, I couldn't do anything. Those dogs just had me. I didn't have enough time to even point the gun, let alone shoot it, because they were just like one after the other. That fucking sucks. Oh my god. That's oh, I hate that. Oh. I just don't have the will to want to do that again. I tell you what. Be smart fighting foes. Yeah. Okay. Fighting foes isn't the only way to survive. This horror. Whatever you do, don't get trapped up against a wall against 2 dogs hitting you over and over again so you can't even point your weapon at them. Anyway, here's a little rolling demo of Chris's gameplay. He's not even gonna pick it up. Okay. Yeah. I'll tell you what, we've seen quite a bit of the game. I would have liked to show you a little bit more, but that complete bullshit death I suffered has completely robbed me of any desire to keep going, so we're going to have to make do with what we've done so far in the video. Oh. Mouse cursor, where are you? There you are. Let's get rid of that. That awkward looking. Okay. So, where are we gonna put Resident Evil? Resident Evil is kind of an awesome game. It has not aged well. I would say that none of the classic Resident Evil games have aged particularly well, but Resident Evil 1 maybe has aged the worst. There's just some quality of life changes that were introduced in some of the later games, like 2 and 3 and Code Veronica, that really makes going back to Resident Evil 1 difficult if you don't have just an extremely deep attachment to the very specific things that this game does. Which for me is the tone, the exceedingly goofy tone, and the The live action FMV for me is what keeps me coming back to this game. I like Resident Evil 1 a lot. It is my favourite classic Resident Evil game. Even the Saturn version, which is in some ways not as good as the PlayStation original. The load times are longer. The game does not look as good. But I still like it. I would rather play Resident Evil 1 than Daytona USA. I would rather play Resident Evil 1 than Tempest 2000. I would personally take Resident Evil 1 over Athlete Kings and Theme Park and Virtua Cop and Road Rash and Mech Warrior 2. Okay, starting to meet resistance now. Here we go. Here we go. Story of Thor is a better game. Saturn Bomberman is a better game. Fighting Vipers is a better game on the Sega Saturn. Exhumed is a better Sega Saturn game. I would personally take Shining the Holy Ark over Resident Evil. Which puts it here. Some are in the high teens to low 20s, which honestly is a very good position. The Saturn port of Command & Conquer is excellent. Like, extremely good. Certainly a better Saturn port than Resident Evil, even though I would not personally call Resident Evil a bad port, just an inferior one. Some people will hate me for this, but I would rather play Resident Evil than Virtua Cop 2. Virtua Cop 2 is a great light gun game. Excellent, excellent, excellent light gun game. It looks great for the platform. It runs great. It is a fantastic Saturn port of a Model 2 arcade game. It is maybe one of the best Saturn ports of the entire platform. Like, it is an incredible... It is an incredibly like high quality port of a game that originally ran on arcade hardware many, many, many times more capable than the Saturn. This is an extremely impressive port and is one of, I think, the best games of the genre, of its genre, you know. Of the short-lived light gun game genre, Virtua Cop is up there in, you know, I'm going to say among the top 5 light gun games ever made. But it's a light gun game. It's a very shallow, very short arcade game. That once you finish twice, you have seen everything. And I find myself not going back to it that often. So I would personally put Resident Evil above Virtua Cop 2. I would put Resident Evil above Guardian Heroes. Guardian Heroes is a glorious, glorious mess. It is very fun, but also extremely chaotic. And maybe has some of the most frustrating boss encounters I've ever encountered in a video game. Huh. Hmm. 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 I would personally take Resident Evil over Puzzle Fighter. Puzzle Fighter is an excellent puzzle game, especially when played against another human. But it's a puzzle game. It's it's designed to be played in small chunks, and it never really changes. Gun Griffin. Gun Griffin is really good. I like Gun Griffin a lot. It is a very slick, looking mech sim that runs very well, but it has 8 levels. The game has 8 levels. It's very short. And also maybe has somewhat awkward controls. I would take Resident Evil over Galaxy Fight. A game that has a lot of cool factor, but the Saturn version has some weird technical shortcomings. I would take Resident Evil over Darius Gaiden. I would take it over Shinobi X. Would I take Resident Evil over Dragon Force? Dragon Force is a really cool RPG. It's a very unique RPG. It's got some very, very, compelling ideas. But it's just so slow. And the deeper you get into the campaign, the slower it goes. It's a real, force of it's a real struggle of attrition sometimes, when if you've got enough armies on the go and enough battles that you have to conclude, sometimes a single turn can take you an hour because of how long it takes just to go through all the fucking dialogue and all the unskippable cutscenes and all the oh my god, there's just a lot of there's a lot of unnecessary cruft on this game. It's just there's a lot of stuff around the edges that could have been there's a lot of stuff around the edges of the experience that could have been better optimized. Just to maybe speed the game up a bit, because it really does start to drag as you get deeper into the campaign and you're fighting a dozen battles a turn. It's oh my god, and you just kind of want to button through everything as fast as possible, but you can't. Which is why this game is best played on an emulator, because you can just fast forward through all that shit on an emulator. I would personally take Resident Evil over Dragon Force, but not Command & Conquer, which makes it our new number 16. A very respectable place for a less than optimal version of a classic game. Resident Evil is a really cool game. It has aged horribly, but I like it a lot still. I still think Resident Evil's still got the magic for me. I still really enjoy playing this game, even though sometimes you encounter some really fucking bullshit. You encounter some really fucking bullshit deaths. Two dogs working together, the most deadly challenge you can face in this game. The tyrant's got fucking nothing on two dogs that have you stun locked. Seriously. Umbrella should stop investing on giant monsters and just send a pair of dogs to stun lock you. Fuck. That's so fucked. Oh, God. Oh, hilarious. Anyway, I'm hitting save. Excellent. So, next time, the first ranking of Saturn of 2026. Will be episode 61, and in that video we will be playing 3 games. We will be playing the final NFL game for the platform. No more NFL games after the next video. True freedom will be achieved. I will no longer be staring down the barrel of an NFL game that I have to play after the next video. We will also be playing the absolute worst version of what is arguably the best sci-fi racing game of the 1990s. And a sequel to an adventure game that is somehow less funny than a game that was barely funny to begin with. So yeah, a less funny sequel to a game that was barely funny at all. Look forward to that. Sounds like 3 winners, doesn't it? Sounds like we got 3 real winners next week, you know. An NFL game, a really bad port of a racing game, and an extremely unfunny adventure game. Hooray! Anyway, I'll see you then, hopefully. My name is the Real Blue Dragon, and hopefully I shall see you next time. Goodbye.